Hi everyone, this is Ahmed Fadl from Village Capital, and in this short video, I'll walk you through how to complete your application for the Empowering Sustainable Entrepreneurship in Africa program and address some of the common issues applicants have faced. So let's get started. First of all, this is the program page where you can find more information about the program, um, eligibility criteria, benefits, and other information. But let's just get started with the application. So I'm gonna go with one of the 5 applications here. I'm gonna go with Ghana. And it's gonna open ABACA, which is the Village Capital platform that we're using for multiple purposes. One of them is actually collecting applications. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. If I have an account, I'll just sign in. If it's the first time I'm using ABACA, I'm just gonna create an account. Company name, I'm just gonna put random entries, Village Capital, email, and web presence. Some companies told us that they don't have a website yet, so you can add your social media links, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. If you're having troubles adding the links, you can just add anything random. So I'm just gonna add test here, but preferably you should add a relevant link. And then for the address, I'm gonna add the capital, Accra. And sector, let's say I'm working around water purification. Terms and conditions, and continue. This is already in use. Next, it's gonna open the self-assessment, which again, one of the Village Capital tools that we use to assess companies based on 8 different business categories. What you need to do is just figure out the level that your company is currently in by reading in the milestones. And if you think you've hit, for example, this one, so that you're at level 4. And then same thing for the other categories. I'm just gonna run through them, but you need to pay a clear attention while doing that. Business model, scale, and then lastly, the investor exit. The last thing is the application questions. We have 36 application questions that we're collecting to better understand companies and to objectively making evaluation decisions. So I'm just gonna start filling in random answers in here. This should be pretty straightforward. One tip while filling the application questions, some people might not have stable internet connection, connectivity is not that good. So we typically advise that whenever you're filling a question, whenever you're done, just copy and paste the answer in a Word document or a Google Sheet or whatever. Applications are typically saved on ABACA, but if you have any issues retrieving your application, you should have it saved in other place. So that's why we advise to copy and paste answers somewhere else. You can also use it for future applications. So I'm just gonna keep adding random answers in here. It's also worth noting that ABACA is only accessible on desktop or laptop, so it's not working on mobile phones, so you need to pay attention for that. This is an important question. We're actually tracking the thematic areas that startups are working across, and this is a multiple entry question. So if you're working, for example, on the intersection of 2 or more areas, you can choose as much as you want it. And then keep adding answers. The business model. We also advise you to add as much details in your answers as possible. Again, like to allow us to better judge and evaluate your applications. We have 9 more to go. Just revenue and fund raised, type of funding. and then last question. So we care a lot about equity and supporting equalities. So we're going to ask you to answer some of the questions to understand you more. And also we note that like all demographic data and all personal data you're going to provide is private. It's not going to be shared with anyone. In here, you can just add your personal information, or if you want to add any other team members. So I'm just going to add mine. And then the title. So again, like there are a couple of questions here that you also need to answer. I'm just picking random things. You can also choose to prefer not to say. Next, and then submit your application and you should be good to go.